Hey everybody, this is Seth from Homestead Medical Experts here with another episode of Let's Talk Experts. I'm honored to be joined here today by Sommer Spillane from Spillane Law. Hey Sommer, how are you?
Hello. Great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Great to see you. Why don't you tell my audience a little bit about you, a little bit about your firm and kind of what you do?
Sure, yeah. So my name's Sommer Spillane. I'm a New Jersey licensed attorney. I practice in the areas of DUI and municipal court defense. That means I handle DUI and other traffic offenses. I'm located in South Jersey. I work from Burlington to the shore and south, and I can be found at njduilaw.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you just founded this in the last year or so?
Yeah, so prior to being a DUI attorney and launching my own firm, my firm launched January 2021.
Yep.
Sorry, the pandemic, man, screwed up my sense of time.
Time is just not...
Yeah, no, I launched June 2021, but I've been an attorney for going on 6 years. My first 5 years of practice, I was a senior associate at a firm outside of Princeton doing primarily medical malpractice and nursing home neglect. Lots of experts in those.
Oh, yep.
So,
yeah,
very familiar.
Yeah. Well, congrats on starting your own firm. It's a great venture.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So here on Let's Talk Experts, we usually find, interesting cases that involve some experts. I know in, criminal law DUIs, they're typically, not always a need for an expert, but I know we were talking offline and there's some interesting cases out there that we've had some needs for experts and stuff. So by all means, what case comes to mind when you think about DUI and expert witness?
Right, yeah. So with an expert witness for a DUI, generally speaking, you want somebody who knows how to differentiate between signs of inebriation and whatever medical condition is causing those signs. So I've never handled this particular type of case, but this one case is very interesting, and it actually caused a huge buzz in the DUI criminal defense field. So it's from North Carolina, and there was a man who was in his late 40s who was arrested for a DUI for driving while intoxicated in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
His family, his friends, and his doctor refused to believe that he had not been drinking, because from all signs, when he was pulled over, it appeared as though he was heavily intoxicated. It turned out that he has a somewhat rare disorder that's actually coming to light amongst other people called autobrewery syndrome, which converts the carbohydrates in your stomach, in your gut, and it ferments it into alcohol.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. And so he didn't have any alcohol that day.
None.
None. It happens when people eat pizza, pasta, orange juice, anything with heavy carbohydrates. And it's becoming more and more known. It keeps showing up more in people with diabetes, Crohn's disease, those types of GI type issues that can arise. And so this poor man, nobody was believing him. Right. He was convicted of a DUI, and then he ended up going, I believe, to, I want to say Ohio, where they were doing a study on this condition. And it turned out that he did in fact have autobrewery syndrome, and he was not drinking and driving. So
that's amazing. And so was he able to use those medical findings to help, circumvent or get, turn over the DWI, or how does that work?
So it took a long time for him to come to this realization of what was going on. And I don't know if he filed an appeal. I would hope so. I hope he filed an appeal. In New Jersey, there are very strict timelines on filing an appeal. I don't know what those timelines are in North Carolina.
Understood.
I hope he got some sense of justice, because it just seems so unfair.
What an interesting case. I mean, a rare illness that can make it seem like you're drinking. We've had a similar case like that before, in regards to the GERD. If somebody has GERD, it may do some fermentation as well and come up on a blood alcohol. We had an instance where we've done GERD defense with experts. We also, and we've talked about this too, sometimes in DWIs, you need a neurologist sometimes to determine whether or not this person is showing symptoms of concussion, or are they inebriated? Because they are very similar, the lack of focus and, the confusion.
Absolutely. It's many of the field sobriety tests that we use in New Jersey that, and I say we, the state troopers, the police officers that they use in New Jersey, uh, they're checking your eyes, right? They're checking that. They're checking your ability to stand on one leg. I mean, we've all seen this kind of stuff on TV.
Yep.
When you have a concussion, especially from a car accident that you're not even aware that you've had a concussion because maybe you've been rear-ended and your head hits the steering wheel. The signs and symptoms of a concussion very closely mirror signs and symptoms of inebriation. So there have been cases where that happens. And in those scenarios, you need an expert because you can't just roll up to court and say, hey, judge, I think I had a concussion that day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not gonna pass the sniff test for the judge. No. He's gonna want to see a medical expert, credentialed, board certified neurologist that comes in and kind of in layman's terms or in a report say X, Y, and Z looks exactly like a person who's intoxicated. And this is one. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's so important. And, you know, some people say, especially at a DUI at the municipal level, which is what I generally handle, which means there's usually no severe bodily injury or death to you or another person, right?
Right.
Sometimes people go into that if they have their first offense DUI. They're thinking, this isn't that big a deal. I'll just go in, whatever. A first offense DUI in New Jersey, you're looking at 30 days in jail and loss of license until an interlock is installed, over $3,700 in fines, and it stays on your permanent driving record. It cannot be expunged. So, you know, it might be worth it to spring for the expert. So I always tell my clients, I do a very thorough search of their discovery. And if I think that there's even any chance that an expert can help them, I recommend it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to them if they want to pay for it, but I highly encourage it.
Yeah, that's incredible. I didn't know that DWIs are non-expungible. So if you do have offense that is because of an auto brewery syndrome, a concussion, something like that, and you don't spring for the expert, this is going to be following you forever.
Forever. It's rough in New Jersey, man. We take DUIs and driver safety extremely seriously.
Sommer, this is why your clients need you. This is why they need you. It's complicated. It's a complicated state for this.
It is. And I just did a video the other day. People didn't know that you can get a DUI even if you weren't the driver, if you just own the car.
That is an I watched that video and I got to say that was a eye-opening video, to say the least.
New Jersey doesn't joke around, man.
They do not mess around. And you know what? Yeah. That's a great segue for us to kind of wrap up the video and allow you to just tell us a little bit about your videos, what you're doing, and by all means, give a plug to my audience.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So I can be found at njduilaw.com. I do a series called Ask an Attorney, and that's where I answer your questions about different laws in New Jersey. It's mostly related to traffic. I'm happy to talk about whatever. So, you know, feel free to look me up, drop me a comment. I'm also on Facebook, Spillane Law LLC. I'm also on Instagram, NJ Law is my handle. And if you don't mind, I would like to also do a quick plug for a charity that I'm involved with.
By all means, please.
Thank you. I'm a board member of the Greater Philadelphia chapter of A Kid Again, which encompasses New Jersey, New York, Delaware, and all of Pennsylvania. What A Kid Again does is we put a timeout on illness for children that are facing life-threatening illnesses by offering them and their families and their siblings monthly adventures, such as trips to Dorney Park, trips to Legoland. We did some virtual boxes, things like that. So if you know of anybody that has a child suffering or battling from a life-threatening illness, go to akidagain.org to enroll. It's completely free.
That is an amazing cause, and I want to see how Homestead can actually help and participate with that. It's beautiful. Thank you for that. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for today. And it was great to see you.
It's been great being here. Thanks so much.
All right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.